everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lacey. I'm the owner of Milky Candles and I make videos about life in my 30s. Like videos for small business, candle, natural hair, life related content, feel free to subscribe and like this video if you end up liking it. I'm probably the last person in the world to try soy 10, but we're gonna try it. The candles that I currently make right now are a soy paraffin blend. As much as I know what I know about paraffin, I understand the general consensus in the candle consuming community, and I would like to switch over from anything other than paraffin. It's not a whole lot of paraffin in it, but people have their feelings about it, and I want to respect those feelings because I can't understand where people are coming from. And we're gonna go ahead and open this. I have heard nothing but absolutely amazing things about soy 10. So me personally, I'm really excited. I'm gonna make a candle that's the same exact size as the candles that I use now. It's the 12-ounce ceramic candle. It's just a different color. It's in white. I got white for my sister's wedding, but I don't sell white. So this, how do you open this? Here we go. I also got a blue sage and sandalwood fragrance oil. It sounded delicious, so I want to smell it. Ooh, look at them taping the top. That's smart. Candle science. You should do that because a couple of yours have opened on me. Ooh. Wowee. Damn. That's good. That is very clean. This is not what you came here for, but it's what you're getting. Fill this up with water because I'm gonna do the double boil method since it's just one candle. This is from California Candle Supply, by the way. So right off the bat, it's a really soft wax. It seems relatively soft, just like the other wax that I was using, but it feels less sticky. The paraffin soy blend wax that I was using is very sticky and it like gets on everything. So this doesn't feel like that. And we're gonna need to measure 11 ounces. Ooh, it's really soft to cut through, which I personally like. Yeah, immediately as I'm cutting through it, it is not nearly as sticky, which I really like. It's easy to break apart if I just need a tiny bit to make the weight that I'm looking for. Okay, we're gonna melt this down. I'm gonna pour my fragrance oil off camera and I'll be back when I'm ready to pour. So I'll probably pour my fragrance oil at about, I think it's at about 190 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I will come back to you when I get ready to pour. Actually, I am gonna make 2 at a time. I would really like to test out the different size wicks that I have. And based off of the recommendations, I would like to just see for myself which ones will be better. I have 2 that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna do the CD8 and the CD6. Okay, now I'm gonna melt this down, pour my fragrance oil at 190 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll come back when I'm ready to pour. I really wanna try the blue sage and sandalwood. I love sandalwood, and apparently I love sage. That's news to me, because it's like the 3rd sage scent that I've smelled, and I like it. I want to use that because I'm such a weirdo for new scents. Like I just can't wait to get my nose in there, but it's good to test a new wax on a fragrance that you know very well because you'll be able to tell if there's like just a difference in the smell. Like maybe it's not throwing hot as well as you would like it to. Maybe it's not throwing cold at all. Maybe there's like a little bit of a burnt smell. Like it's just, all things considered, take a scent that you know very well. What was splish splash? I might be crazy, but I feel like it melted a little bit faster. It'll be interesting to see what the sinkhole situation is like because with the paraffin soy blend that I use, the sinkholes are insane, but I only have sinkholes in these vessels. I've never had sinkholes, well, I guess in glass jars, but with my cement vessels, I didn't have sinkholes, just tons of bubbles. But that was because of the cement. I also just want to mention the reason why I'm making a full-size batch or a full-size candle for both wick sizes. It's important for me to see how the candle reacts once it gets to the bottom of the vessel because that's a long way to travel. Okay, we are poured and I will keep you updated. So far, no sinkholes, never say never. I can see that there's like a little bit of dipping happening, but I don't, yeah, we've got to wait for them to cool a lot more to find out. Yeah, I can see right there. So I'm actually gonna cut the wicks and just kind of store them away. We're gonna give, it's suggested to give about 3 to 14 days to cure. We're gonna go with 6. So this video will be recorded over the course of about a week. So far already, I can tell that there is a little bit of separation from the wax to the vessel. That does not really bother me. So we can see through here. There's also absolutely no sinkholes, which honestly, I have just come to accept in my life that sinkholes are gonna be a part of my candle journey, but maybe with Soy 10, it isn't. I don't know. Am I gonna switch my wax, you guys? A bitch just might. She just might. Okay, we are poured and I will keep you updated. Okay guys, we are on to testing. And honestly, I'm really glad that I did 2 different sized wicks because different wicks play well or not well with different waxes. So we are lighting the CD8 in a larger room and we're lighting the CD6 in the bathroom. These are actually the 2 places that I mostly test my candles. That's why there's, you know, all these other ones. So I'm just gonna light them for about 4 to 5 hours at a time, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm tracking it. Not only does this help me figure out how many burn hours I get, depending on which wick I'm using for the new waxes, but I'm also interested in testing it, you know, if I don't cut my wick as much versus when I cut my wick after every time I blow out my candle or before every time I cut it, what will the burn be like as a consumer point of view. So at this point, as I am testing this wax, I think this is the 2nd burn now, I'm trying really hard not to cut my wick because I recognize that most people don't. And God, look at that flame. It's just so dangerous. So we're gonna spend majority of this test trying to not cut our wicks. All right, we have final thoughts. So curing recommendations are honestly anywhere from 3 days to 14 days, and we just went ahead and went with 6, which I'm pretty sure is longer than the soy paraffin blend that I use. So that is definitely something to take into consideration for some of you that maybe don't want a slower curing time or longer curing time. Immediately, something that I noticed is when I made the candles, well, okay, 2 things I immediately noticed. 1, I didn't see any frosting like happening on top of the candle. I didn't see any of that. So that was really nice because sometimes you can heat gun frosting and it just doesn't go away. And although there's nothing wrong with frosting when it comes to soy wax, it's just not very pretty. And people like pretty candles. But when I thought I saw sinkholes, I really didn't. I mean, there was like a little dip, but there was no hole. There was no hole, but it didn't actually turn into a sinkhole. So that is a game changer because the soy paraffin blend that I have right now, I have to, you guys have probably seen me do it in videos. Not only do I get sinkholes, but I actually have to dig into them because underneath that teeny tiny little surface is a huge hole right next to the wick. So I dig below to make sure that when I heat gun it, the wax goes everywhere and not just in that like little tiny crevice that I saw, but it actually goes throughout the rest of the candle. The hot and cold throw seemed pretty similar in my opinion. There were times in my wax testing where I was like, I'm not gonna cut the wick because not everybody cuts the wick and I wanna see what other people see. And then there were times where I was like, I'm gonna cut the wick because I can't, the black soot, you guys, from not cutting the wick is so intense and I don't understand how people don't cut their wicks, but they don't. I still want to do like another wick test between the CD8 and the CD6. I like the CD better than the Eco. I've always found that the Eco is just like aggressive, but it's also been a long time since I've used Eco, but like they pop. As far as like wet spots go, I obviously can't tell because the jar is ceramic. I did do a soy wax candle and 2 glass jars. I'm testing out different fragrances for a new collection that I want to put out, and I did not see any wet spots on those. Now that could be the jar itself, but so far, haven't seen any wet spots. I didn't have any sweating either. I didn't see any sweating. Sometimes soy can sweat, but I did not see that with Soy 10, so that was really nice. There wasn't any discoloration other than like what my fragrance oils will do already. I've got a couple fragrance oils that just make my candles a little bit darker or a little bit yellow, and that is not really a big deal to me. I know there's stuff that you can buy to put in your candles so that doesn't happen, but when it comes to Soy 10, it was just a nice, kind of like ivory color. It was pretty perfect. The wax did shrink a little bit from the vessel, but that doesn't bother me. Well, okay, let me rephrase. It does bother me if I have to heat gun my candle, because then what happens is the wax on the perimeter ends up melting and trying to like sit in that area where the wax pulled away from the vessel, and it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the candle. So what ends up happening is the top melts, and then since there's air at the bottom of the candle, it tries to push the wax out, and then I get air bubbles on the sides. So that's the only time I don't like it, when the wax pulls from the vessel. But since I don't have to heat gun these, that isn't a problem. Like, I literally didn't have to heat gun them at all. There might be instances when you do, but my paraffin soy blend also sometimes pulls away from the ceramic vessels. It also pulled away from my cement vessels. The only time I didn't see it pull away was from glass. All in all, I'm switching my wax. I'm just gonna do it. I understand the concerns of paraffin. Paraffin, even though it's a soy paraffin blend and there's a lot more soy than there is paraffin, but I definitely think there's like a completely different, not different, but like there's a larger market of people who are willing to buy soy candles versus like soy paraffin. Because if you're spending a lot of money on a candle because you're supporting a small-owned business, and you know, or a small business, and you know that you could find something at a similar price point but all soy, and all you've been hearing is that soy is better than paraffin, then you as a consumer, what would you do? So hands down, definitely changing my wax. I started using the paraffin soy blend when I was getting frustrated with soy and how there was the frosting, there was the sweating, and it just never looked pretty. And even if you got the candle to look perfect and then you finally melted it and then it just looked ugly, I wasn't into it. But we're switching. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's another wax that you want me to test, then just let me know in the comments below. I do have the Golden Brands 464. Not a big fan of it, but I have it so I can play around with it on camera if you guys are interested in seeing those results. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys even if you don't love me back, and I will see you in my next video. Say bye. Oh, we said bye-bye.